What is up, everybody? Trevor Jones here. Today I have a very special guest. He is actually a guest I've had in the past. I had him once before, and the video I created with him is one of my most viewed videos of all time. This is Mike SHERRARD of High Converting Content. He's a realtor who turned into a social media wizard, has a company that he founded called High Converting Content. If you need help making content, this guy will help you create stuff that is going to crush it. How do I know it works? Dude, go to his Instagram page. But the guy's slaying it. He's freaking amazing, and he can help you too. But today he's going to give you some ideas on how you can grow your business using Instagram and some of the changes that have happened over the last year and things you need to be aware of. Things are constantly changing, right, Mike? I mean, are there things that if you did what worked 5 years ago, is that going to work?
Not at all, man. And you know, I'm constantly adjusting my strategy because, you know, I thought I had it all figured out, and then they changed the algorithm 5 times last year, and suddenly I'm back to square one. So I'm constantly adjusting. And because we work with so many realtors and entrepreneurs that have a strong presence or want to have a strong presence on Instagram, I have to test things myself before we implement it for them. So I'm constantly reiterating and trying new things to figure out what works and how we can crack the code.
Okay, awesome. And what is, I mean, let's jump right into it. What's working right now? Well, first of all, should realtors, this is specifically a channel for realtors, but other entrepreneurs watch this as well. It's all the same stuff works for every business, basically. So does a realtor or an entrepreneur need an Instagram account today in 2020?
100%. It's a no-brainer. At the end of the day, you need to look at consumer behavior. Where are your target audience? And they're all on Instagram now. You know, the United States has one of the biggest population of active monthly Instagram users in the world. And, you know, a far majority of my leads that are over the age of 50 have actually come through Instagram. So even though people make the assumption that, you know, it's just for like, you know, 40 years and younger, that's very much not the case. Everybody's on there. I've gotten leads from people over the age of 60 on Instagram.
Wait, even guys my age that are over 50? No way, dude.
Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? So it's the place to be. And you just have to understand the importance of it, right? You know, I view Facebook as more of a lead generation tool. I look at Instagram more as a personal branding and, you know, client attraction tool. And then you have YouTube, which is sort of the best of both worlds. So it's just about understanding why Instagram is so important and then tailoring your content specifically towards that audience based on the importance of that platform.
Love it. And what is working now on Instagram? What's changed?
Definitely. So I think one of the biggest things that changed is going from quantity to quality. You know, back when I got started in 2017, it was a quantity game. You know, you hear Gary Vaynerchuk say, post some more, post again, and maybe post 6 more times today. That did work back in 2017, 2018, but now it's much more about the quality. But one thing that I urge people to understand is that I'm not just talking about the quality of the creative or the image or the video. I'm talking about the quality of the message that you have to deliver. So the algorithm has become so much more difficult to rank and get organic engagement on and organic reach, because when you make a post on Instagram, it shows it within the first hour to 10% of your audience. And based on the engagement of that first hour and that first 10%, if you get a lot of engagement, it'll show it to another 10% and then another and then another. The problem is most aren't getting much engagement in that first 10%, so their posts are falling flat. So quality of the message, which is why you're seeing me, if you look at any of my posts, a lot of my descriptions are much lengthier and they are quite thought-provoking because I'm doing 2 things there. I'm trying to prompt people to engage. So I write captions in a way that excites engagement, right? They want to put their 2 cents in. They want to write what they have to say. But also watch time, similar to YouTube, watch time is one of the biggest components to the Instagram algorithm. So if you have a one-liner for a description in your Instagram post and somebody takes 5 seconds to look at it and scrolls, well, the watch time's not too significant.
Wow.
But if you've got a well thought out, longer style caption, it might take them 30 seconds to read that post. And then they might go back up and look at the image. Or you see a lot of people that are leveraging video, of course, which does well, or they're leveraging carousel images. So they've got multiple images with a lengthier post. So now somebody's spending 30 to 60 seconds on your image or video versus 5 seconds and then getting off of there. So watch time is something that people need to understand.
Wow.
It's a really powerful aspect of it. So I think people need to focus on the intent behind their posts, because at the end of the day, what people fail to realize is that they're often selfish. You know, you look at real estate agents for the far more majority of the time, and it's, you know, I just listed this, I just sold this, and having this open house, me. But yeah, exactly. But what people fail to understand is nobody cares about you. As harsh of a reality as that is, you know, nobody cares about Gary Vaynerchuk, but they love him because of the amount of value he gives for free based on social media. Nobody just naturally loves Tony Robbins if they've never met him, but they love him because of the fact that he provides life-changing transformations. People don't naturally love any realtor, but if you can be the one that's providing value and seen as that go-to resource that people can confide in with questions, you're going to be the one that wins. So it's ultimately about understanding your target audience, being able to create messages about that and sharing it with them. You know, one thing that I have to stress to people, and this has been the biggest game changer for me on Instagram, is doing a quality test. And every time I go to make a post, here's what I do. I take a step back, I take off my realtor hat, and I say, if I was a cold audience, if I didn't know who Mike Sherrard was, and I saw this post, would I like it? Then would I comment on it? And would I actually go so far as to follow him? And what you're going to see a large majority of the time is you're wondering why your following's not growing. You're wondering why you're not getting engagement. But if you took off your biased hat and put on an unbiased one, and you looked at your own post, you wouldn't follow yourself. You might like the photo, but you would never write a comment. So you're expecting consumer behavior to act differently than you're actually behaving yourself. And that's where people fall short. You know this as good as anybody with YouTube videos. If you wouldn't watch your own video, why should anyone else? We all get caught up thinking that what we have to say is so valuable, so other people are going to perceive it that way. We do have a lot to offer, but you need to do that quality test. Same with Facebook ads or any other social media platform, to make sure that what you're posting is enough to give enough people value that they want to see more from you.
Right. And what do you do if you go, okay, I looked at my post, I'm not a professional photographer, I'm not a writer, you know, I'm not a video guy, and I want to make a post, and I'm looking at my post and I'm bored of my own post. What do you tell somebody that doesn't have like a background that maybe you have or that I have, that's like trying to get people to engage with them? They don't, where do they start?
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, you were on the mastermind with us last night, and you hit the nail on the head. You know, this little millionaire marketing device here. If, you know, at the end of the day, Instagram is big about building your personal brand. And the best way to do this by being authentic and being real and being the best version of yourself, because nobody can be a better version of you than you can. So if you're quirky, if you're weird, if you're serious, if you're out and about at the coffee shop, you have ways to highlight your own personality by taking a selfie. This is the quality I'm talking about. You do not need anything more than an iPhone 7 to tick the quality checkbox on Instagram.
But for sure not an Android, right?
I don't even know what that is. But at the end of the day, so you've got the high quality photo, right? It can be a selfie. Just make sure that you've got some sort of expression, whether you're happy, sad, quirky, weird, show your true personality, and then write something insightful, right? If you had a thought that crossed your mind that really inspired you today, don't just write the quote that you saw, but write how that quote impacts you and might be able to influence others. Don't just write about the fact that you got a new listing today or you had a new appointment. Write something unique that came out of that buyer's presentation or listing presentation that you found really cool about the people that you just had a conversation with. So it's going from saying, you know, the little tidbit nugget at the start to saying how that impacted you, how that can impact others. A lot of entrepreneurs and realtors read books, or they listen to podcasts, or, you know, they've got ideas. Share that, right? So anybody has access to great content for Instagram just by the nature of their life. It's just about sharing it on a deeper level.
That's awesome. And so even though Instagram is, you know, started out as a photo sharing platform, period, now people are actually taking the time to read long insightful. Are people actually reading long old comments? Because I'm like a 12-year-old kid, man. I'm like, "Boop, boop, 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 boop." I don't have patience usually, but are you finding that people are engaging and reading?
100%. If you look at any of the top entrepreneurs, if you look at Gary Vaynerchuk, Andy Frisella, any of these people, they're all writing very lengthy captions on their posts, and it's for that exact reason. Is because it gives you a little edge over the algorithm that not many people are. And also, you have to think about how much can you actually learn or gain from somebody that's writing a couple lines. You can't gain much, so you
Right.
can't expect much. But if you continue to deliver powerful messages that might be able to impact people in some sort of positive way, you're going to see that people are excited to see what you have to say next. I took a hiatus off Instagram for the last week just to dial in a couple things with my business and a lot of the big clients that we're bringing on right now. But during that time, I've had well over 50 people send me DMs being like, "Hey, Mike, what happened to your post? Like, where did you go?" Right?
Wow.
So they
Wow.
notice instantly, and they want to see more because I get a lot of frequent messages saying that I inspire people, I motivate people, and I give them the confidence to go out and take action. And when that goes away, I noticed the next day as soon as I didn't do anything. So it's really cool to
Wow.
see people are watching closer than you think. And they might not be engaging because your content isn't that great, but they're watching, right? So
Right.
as soon as you
Right.
get them to the point where they're watching and engaging, now you've built a tribe. Now you've built a community of people that, again, are going to refer you business in real estate. They're going to refer, like, a lot of my referrals have come from people that follow me on Instagram on a local level that have never met me. I've never seen them in my life, but they follow me, love what I do, and send everybody my way.
And even though you're not even tossing out a call to action, it's none of that. You're just sharing valuable content.
Zero call to actions. I've never used a call to action on my
Wow.
Instagram for real estate ever.
Wow. No sales, no pitching, no nothing. You're just providing value, which
Yep.
is
And
huge.
exactly. And Instagram stories, ironically, have actually been the biggest source of real estate lead generation for me to date. More deals than Facebook ads, more deals than Instagram feed, more deals than anything.
Really?
Yeah.
And everybody knows that posting an Instagram story is super expensive. So I mean, that must be breaking the bank.
It's nuts, right? I can't imagine spending $0 a day.
Right. To sell a house and pay 15 grand in commission. That's
Exactly.
insane. Now here's a question. What should a realtor post? Like, you go on Instagram, and if you go into search, hit that little search button, you go, wow, all this stuff, it sucks me in because it's stuff I've been searching, and it's all beautiful stuff. And I'm like, dude, I don't look good in a bikini, man. I can't compete with that, So what should a realtor do or those luxury homes? Like, dude, I'm not selling $10 million homes in Simi Valley. There's only like 5 of them. So I don't have these beautiful vistas and water and blue and gorgeousness happening, in my community, in the house that I'm selling. What if you're selling $200,000 condos in some backwoods country that are just kind of you don't have like beautiful houses to show if you're a realtor? What should an agent be taking pictures of? For that story is one thing, but for their feed, what should they be taking pictures of?
Yeah, definitely. So there's a couple different angles here. One, the most engagement I get aside from ultra luxury listings that I have are actually things like foreclosures and the worst properties you could ever imagine. People
Really?
love to see when I walk through, and I've literally taken Instagram stories of mice trying to run up my clients' legs while we're walking through foreclosures
Right,
and
right.
them freaking out. People love to see that stuff. Or flips. I work with a lot of real estate investors. People love to see before and afters. They love to see what's happening when they're getting properties torn down. So making them a part of the process. Here's what you need to understand. And Instagram's a great tool for this. Most people hate real estate agents. It's the stigma that we're all faced with just because of the nature of the industry. But why does everybody love Josh Altman and Ryan Serhant? They love them because on $1 Million Listing, everybody's interested in real estate, but nobody sees behind the scenes.
Right.
So what
Oh.
Instagram allows you to do is to give people the $1 Million Listing experience of your city. Now, it doesn't matter if your average price point is $200,000. All that people care about is what goes on behind the scenes of the real estate world. Price point is irrelevant. Sure, it's catchy to see a big property, but at the end of the day, if people don't live in an area with big properties, they don't care about big properties. So people want to see what's going on in their local market. And if you can, you look at Trump, make America great again. If you can make real estate fun again,
Right.
there you go.
Right.
So
okay. Now that's for Stories. What about for your feed?
For your feed, again, a couple different things that every agent can do that, again, makes it really fun. One, collaborations, right? If you're doing anything with anybody else, which you're always doing, you're always going to networking events, you're always going out with clients, make sure that you're taking pictures with other people, showing that you're out and about, having fun, making light of the process.
Okay.
Number two, make sure that when you are out and about, you're showcasing your city. If you've got a favorite spot you like to go, if there's a landmark that's sentimental to you, or if you're just out and about and it's a sunny day, talk about the fact that you love beautiful days here in your city, right?
Right.
Everybody, no matter what they're doing, has an opportunity to take great content. Another one that works really well is anything relating to your passion. So make sure that you're highlighting content that relates to you. Ultimately, if you look at the biggest brands or people on social media, they're polarizing. And you alluded to this last night. People are going to gravitate towards you if you're showing what you're interested in. So,
right.
Let's look at fitness, for example. Most fitness people don't have the slightest clue about real estate and don't give a flying crap about realtors. But if you happen to be a realtor that's into fitness, don't you think that the other people in fitness in your city are naturally going to gravitate to you? So why wouldn't you post more content about that? Or for me, I'm big into cars. Why do you see a lot of car content on my Instagram feed? Because that naturally helps other car people gravitate towards me. And now, just through the nature of the conversation, the transactions are so much smoother because now we don't just have to talk about real estate. We can talk about the same passion we have. So always making sure that you're just showcasing your lifestyle. That's all you're trying to do, but making sure that you're having fun with it, not being that buttoned up, perfectly pressed agent that nobody feels like they can trust.
So you're saying that people into fitness and people into cars actually live in houses as well?
I didn't think so when I first got into real estate, but I soon found out that every single person with a passion lives in a house. And if you can relate to them, you might actually work with them.
So you think that would be even better content for a realtor for their feed than going, just listed, just sold? Is that even possible? Like you don't have to post all that boring crap?
I think I proved it myself.
Dude, that's amazing. Like what a great way to think about it. It's like you can just be a human being that has passions and you'll attract people that have the same passions as you and they'll naturally want to do business with you because they can relate to you.
Here's the biggest problem. People struggle with Instagram or any social media platform for whatever matter because of the fact that they're making it difficult on themselves. If you are yourself, if you are able to just showcase your true, raw, authentic, natural self, you're going to find it a lot easier to create content because you're just being you. But when you feel like you have to have this certain image and certain content on Instagram because it's Instagram and you need to be perceived this way, hell yeah, it's going to be difficult. But, for me, I just have fun with it. And you should have fun with it because it's a tough journey. It's a grind. I know it can be exhausting to create content. But if you're doing it just out and about, living your life, you're going to find it a lot easier.
That's awesome. Now, you guys may not know this, but Mike just dropped like 100 pounds of body fat. He's totally jacked. He's got a 6-pack, 8-pack or 6-pack?
I don't know. We'll count them later.
But he's got a freaking purple Beamer. Do you have to have an 8-pack and a purple Beamer to be successful on Instagram?
You don't, because clearly over the last 5 years I've been pretty damn fat. So,
but look at him now. Here, can you just show me your arms just for inspiration? Just let me see one of your arms.
Oh, we just have to do a little stretch here.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy, right? But you don't have, even when Mike was fat 2 months ago, he was still killing it, right?
Yeah. At the end of the day, anybody's going to relate to you, right? There's thousands of people out there. If you're into knitting, there's thousands of people in your city that are into knitting. It doesn't matter how you look, who you are, what your hobbies are, what your passions are. There's going to be, I get this question all the time about introverts. How many, they say, well, I struggle to create content or nobody's going to like me because I'm boring. Do you know how many other introverts are out there that are actually going to relate to you because you're not overwhelming them with energy?
Right.
Think about that.
That's totally brilliant. Dude, that's inspirational stuff you're saying here, man. So no matter who you are, you can have a tribe. I mean, I'm sure you've read Crush It by Gary Vee, right? And that's all that's what he preaches. No matter what your passion is, there are probably literally millions of people on the planet that have exactly the same passion. And so share it. Don't be afraid. So just more, just day-to-day stuff. How often should you be doing a story? How often should you be posting in your feed? And tell me about Instagram or IGTV.
Yeah, definitely. So let's start with post frequency. So post frequency, I recommend Instagram stories every day. You know, you have to maintain top of mind as many times as you can, right? At least once a day. But I find use it as a vlog style thing. No matter what you're doing out and about, it's easy to just whip out your phone and showcase what's going on. Sometimes if I'm just driving to a listing presentation, listening to a song, I'll just toss it on there. Just keep top of mind awareness with your audience using the stories. Also, when you're doing showings with people, if you see anything quirky about the property, beautiful in the property, I was walking through a property and saw this like huge, you know, bong, and I took a video of it and everybody loved it. It's like, if you just see anything weird, show it, right? So anything like that, use stories very strategically to engage your audience, entertain your audience, and maintain their attention. Now with your feed, two things. One, I recommend, if possible, a minimum of 3 times per week, but make sure that if you do less than that, or if you do more than that, whatever number you choose, you are consistent with it. So if you can post 5 times a week, yes, do it. But make sure that the next week, for the next 10 weeks, you're doing that. So, you know, here's one, I guess, stigma or whatever that I need to clear up. You know, Gary Vaynerchuk is amazing, and he's saying post 3 times a day, and it's all good. Going back to the quality versus quantity thing that we talked about at the beginning, Gary can do that because he's got 3 times per day's worth of quality content. But if you post 3 times, you're going to have 3 very terrible, useless, unfollowable, unengaging posts.
Are you talking about my face? Is that why you're saying that?
No, not at all. But people just need to understand he's at a different level. He's got a full content media team on staff every day, all day following him. So while we're listening to him, and theoretically, yes, it makes sense, only do that if you've got enough high quality, value added content to post that often. So I recommend make it easy on yourself. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, post 3 times a week. For me, I like to do Monday to Friday, once a day for 5 days. But again, just make sure you're consistent. I see so many people that say, you know, starting next week, I'm going to post once a day, every day. Or I'm going to start vlogging. And it's like, okay, 7 days later, they've got no content, they're exhausted, and they're just heartbroken. So
do you put yourself in most of your posts?
100%. I think I like to use the 80-20 rule. So 20% of your content can be the real estate specific content. So that's just listed, just sold, credibility stuff, just to show that you're active in the market. But the 80% can be real estate related content, but 80% of your posts need to have your face in it. So if you're doing an open house, take a selfie with your signs behind, your open house signs behind you at the open house, and a big smile. If you've got cookies out and coffee out or whatever, show that. If you're doing a walkthrough tour, show that. So 80% of your posts should have your beautiful face in it. 20% can be credibility driven. So just have your listings of sold banners and that kind of stuff. But 100%, at the end of the day, again, look at consumer behavior. If you were looking for a realtor and you landed on somebody's Instagram, a realtor's Instagram page, and it just had a bunch of properties that are probably from God knows where, they're just stock images and they're just pretty, you would never reach out to that person and say, hey, I want to work with you. You would work with the person that you can look and be like, damn, this person looks fun. Or, you know, it looks like this would be somebody that I can trust or like or whatever. So you need to look at how you would choose an agent and then put out content that would attract somebody like that.
Dude, love that. Love that. IGTV, you in it yet or not?
Awesome. So IGTV is incredible. We do a lot of repurposing of our YouTube videos to IGTVs. I found it only became useful once they allowed you to start sharing the first 60 seconds as a preview. So,
do you do that?
You know, I do that.
Explain that for those that may not know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So previously on IGTV, it was kind of like a separate entity within Instagram where it was longer form. On the feed, you could post 60 seconds. On IGTV, you could post 60 to, 10 minutes. And it was, doing okay. But now what they've done is they've allowed you to, if you've got, a 4.5-minute video, you can post the first 60 seconds as a preview on your feed. And then as soon as the 60-second hits, it prompts you to click continue watching, and it'll drive you to the rest of the video. So now it's powerful, because now when you've got these property tours, or you've got a community highlight, or you've got a business interview, or buyer's tips, seller's tips, investors tips, you can have a video that is actually long enough to provide value to somebody, but is short enough to be a great fit for the platform like Instagram.
Right. Do you mostly do that now? You started on Instagram feed, and they flip it over to IGTV for whatever your videos are, with your YouTube videos
100%.
primarily?
Yeah, exactly. So what I like to do, and again, this is a strategy just to maintain engagement, is I'll actually post the video on YouTube, and then a couple weeks later, to re-engage that audience, I'll post the full video on my IGTV. So to re-engage the audience.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it's a great way to provide value to people. I think it's a great way to, engage and really dive deeper into the substance of your content, because you can only provide so much value in 60 seconds. So now the fact that you've opened it up to a different level of quality, I think you're really going to see a lot of agents leveraging that, and the ones that are going to be winning.
Love that. Love that. Now, I know on Facebook feed, you can have 30 tags, and I guess it's been like that for a long time. What do you do for tags? How do you figure out what to put there? And should you use all 30, or do they even matter anymore?
Yeah, so I like to use all 30, and if you can't, at least 20 or something like that. But ultimately, I like to do a bit of a blend. So whenever I'm doing the hashtags for any of my posts, I break it down into a couple of different segments. So the first is obviously real estate related, right? So using things like realtor, real estate agent, realtor life, $1 million listing, that kind of stuff.
Right.
The second is local. So I would use anything that relates to my local city or my local market.
Okay.
The third is brand specific. So for me, I am kind of seen as an entrepreneur that's a bit motivational from my content. So I'll put out something like that. And then fourth is photo specific. So you need to have some specific tags relating to that photo. Because again, if I post a picture of my BMW as sort of a car attraction type client post, and it's just real estate tags, no one from the car industry is going to see it. Or similarly, if I post a picture of a listing and it's got a bunch of BMW life hashtags, the right audience isn't going to see it. So you do need to make sure, usually about 50% of my tags are copy and pasted from every single photo.
Really? And that's okay. Does that hurt, or is that okay to have? Nope,
that's okay. But as long as you're changing some of them. So the remainder are the ones that I'm changing and making photo specific. Now, if you want to know how to find tags, there's a little trick here. And this is, something you probably know, but let's say we were to go type in realtor as a hashtag. What you're going to see at the top is this little bar here called related. Okay. Now, what that means is that these are the related hashtags to the hashtag realtor that Instagram's algorithm is using to populate and rank the highest posts.
Wow.
So that means, let's say you live in Toronto. Well, if you look up the hashtag Toronto and you want to become recognized as a Toronto realtor, you should look at what related hashtags are to Toronto and use those in your photo, because that gives you a better chance of ranking as one of the most engaging posts for Toronto with your content, right? Great. So that works every single post. And it's like Instagram's literally giving you the rubric and the blueprint of what they are using. So use it.
Wow. So you're seeing these photos, these posts with this tag Toronto are the top ranking ones, and these are the tags they're using. If you want to rank with them, use the same freaking tags. You just do that. You just go to search and do that before you start your post, correct? So you go to hit the little magnifying glass, type it in, and then boom, you'll see related at the top there.
Exactly. And they don't change that often. So like if you know that you want to have real estate related tags, type in realtor, look at them, boom, write them down. Maybe there's 5 of them. You want to have local ones? Boom, write down your city's name, choose those 5. Great. Now you've got 10 hashtags. You want to have something related to your brand? Great. Boom. Now you've got 15 hashtags, half your hashtags, copy and paste it, done. Now just make them photo specific when you go to post the rest.
Dude, brilliant. That's gold. You guys paying attention? Do that. What about your bio? Does that matter?
Bio matters 100%. At the end of the day, it's the first thing people see, and you don't want to be boring, right? At the end of the day, you want to give people a reason. From your posts to your stories to your bio to your profile picture, you want to give as many reasons possible for people to follow you. And a lot of people are overlooking that. They have some, kind of random, quirky, old school style, bad quality profile picture. They've got no thought into their bio. Your bio is a call to action. Your bio is a call to action of why they should be following you and who you are, what you're about, right? So when a cold audience sees one of your pictures, clicks to view your profile, that's the first thing they're looking at is your bio. So you need to give them a reason to follow you. That means credibility. If you've won any awards, if you've got any stats that you can leverage, it's not boasting. It's just, again, giving people a reason to know why you're a bit different. Do you work with investors? Do you specialize in a certain type of property or a certain type of client? Anything like that. What market are you from? Explain that so that people know in an instant, because again, like you alluded to, they've got the attention span of a gnat. Make sure that quickly they know exactly what you're about and have a reason to want to follow and stick around.
Dude, love that. Now, in your bio, you can have a link. What should that link be?
Great question. So I use Linktree. So what Linktree is it's something that allows you to have multiple links, because I personally find that with one link, you're very limited and you don't have a lot of options. So, if you're creating YouTube content and you've got buyer's guides and seller's guides and new listings and an event coming up, it's hard to pick which one you want in that link, right? And you're eliminating traffic opportunities by doing that. So you're ultimately hurting yourself. I like to use Linktree. It's free to use if you want to use the free version. And ultimately you can put as many links as you want. So I like to use Linktree. And then I have my YouTube channel. I've got my LinkedIn profile. I've got a couple free buyer's guides. I've got, free Facebook course stuff. And then that way, when people look at my profile, they've got a few options of what they can check out.
Oh, it's awesome. Guys, if you liked anything that Mike said, smash the like button right now. And also, I'm going to link you to his above his point up, Mike, point up. If you point up, that's his Instagram profile. You need to click on that right now. And then right up around one of those places, I'm going to link you to his YouTube channel. He's got a ton of awesome content on there. You need to totally check out his YouTube channel. Mike, do you have any parting words for people that are like afraid to get started? They're like, oh yeah, but I'm not all pretty like Mike, and I don't have a Beamer, and I'm just a regular person, and I posted once and nobody liked it. What do you say to these people that are afraid to start? Or like, I'm old, Mike. I'm 56 years old. It's too late for me. Or I'm 70 years old, and there's tons of realtors in their 70s. What do you say to those guys that feel like, it's too late for me, man? It's too late.
Couple parting words on the age thing. You're maybe 53 years old. Well, there's a lot of other 53-year-olds that don't relate to the 20-year-olds out there. So if you happen to be the agent that's in your 50s and you're active on Instagram, well, all the other 50-year-olds are going to be the one that's relating to you, because they can't resonate with the younger demographic. So make sure that you're on there, because your age group is on there, right? So make sure that you're active on there. I think there's another couple things. Do not focus on vanity metrics. Do not focus on your following, because here's the thing. If you've got 317 followers, that's 317 people that have said, I want to see more content from you. I'm following you. I get so many clients that reach out to me with my company saying, Mike, I want to get 10,000 followers, and then I'm going to start doing this, that, and the other thing. It's like, you're never going to get to 10,000 followers if you're treating everybody as a number. You need to treat every number as a person. When you treat every number as a person, you're going to give enough value to them to the point that the audience will naturally come. But until you start treating like a human on the other end of that number, you're always going to struggle. And then at the end of the day, make sure you have fun with it. This is going to be a platform and a medium for people to get to know your true personality. They're going to resonate with you, and it's going to allow you to withstand certain economic times. At the end of the day, we've got iBuyers coming in, we've got Amazon coming in, we've got all kinds of disruptors trying to come in and flip the real estate industry upside down on its head. Here's the thing. If you're in New York and you think real estate, you're going to Ryan Serhant. You don't care what technology, you don't care about iBuyers, Redfin, any of that. You want to work with Ryan.
Yeah.
So how do you do that in your city? Again, you build a strong personal brand that people recognize and people engage with and want to see more content from. That's all that he has done. You can do that in your city because nobody else is. So if you do that, then when people think real estate, they don't think, hey, I wonder if I should waste 5 hours looking at what new relevant technology is coming into the industry in our city. They say, I know the guy, and they want to work with you. So you make yourself irreplaceable in a sense where you are the go-to resource. So that's what I have to say.
Dude, I freaking love that, guys. I love that, Mike. Now tell us just really quickly, if somebody needs a little help, tell us about high converting content.
Yeah, definitely. So we work with a lot of agents, whether it be on a done for you, scale, or whether you want one-on-one consulting. We do that. We work with a lot of agents that want to scale their Instagram, have high converting Facebook ads. They want a strong YouTube presence. They want to build a strong brand. And we work with them on any capacity. We're quite flexible, understanding people's budgets and trying to give them, the best options that they can for whatever they're able to invest into something like this. And we've seen incredible results. We've got epic testimonials and people are really happy. So, whatever you're looking for, you guys know where to find me now. Hit me up on my DMs or, I respond to all the comments on my YouTube videos, and I'm more than happy to have a 30-minute free strategy call and see how we can work some magic.
Do you guys, I know I'm just gonna gloss over that. I've seen mega agents, mega producers, mega people offer these 30-minute free strategy calls, and nobody calls them. It's like Mike Sherrard, he's the guy that is killing it on YouTube. He just offered you 30 minutes free. So hit him up, DM him on Instagram. It's right up there over his head. Or you can also hit them up on YouTube comments, or give a website for high converting content.
Yeah, highconvertingcontent.com. You can look at all of our services there. You can look at some of the epic people we've had the pleasure of working with to date.
He's worked with some big names, guys. It's not just, little Joe Schmo. No, but he's worked with some big names, and he's willing to give you a half hour of his time. So totally hit him up.
And it's incredible because we've worked with people worth 9 figures, but we've also worked with people that, are in the 5-figure level and want to scale to 6 and 7. So we can make it happen. Yeah,
that's awesome, dude. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Mike, so much for this amazing information. You guys should probably watch this twice and start using this stuff. If you implement this stuff, it's going to make a huge difference. If you just listen and go, oh, that was fun. It's like, no, you got to actually take action starting now with your magic little device that we all have sitting in our pockets. And I hear that even Androids work for doing that exact same kind of thing. So please, if you got any value to this, please hit the like and subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Mike's channel. And I cannot wait to see the amazing Instagram content you guys create.